All right. Hello, everybody. Hi, Vex. How are you doing? I'm here. I'm on time. I've made it to stream. The Eve of Winter summoning ritual was successful, as Vex has stated. I'm very curious how many sacrifices that took. But, how's everybody doing? How is this fine Sunday? Where I have not a whole lot of plans for today. Mostly to Minecraft to kind of see what we're going to be up to. Kind of make it up as we go. For less exciting information, what I have been doing is I have been putting sleeves on cards. This is my pre-stream activity. Took the ingredients of a homemade pizza and an anti-capitalist manifesto, and perhaps a goat. Well, how interesting. But yeah, Vex. Could be a fun time today. This actually may turn into a very League of Legends heavy stream. We're gonna find out. Ooh, that's tragic for us. It wasn't worth it, I gotta say. If you sacrificed Faker to make the stream possible, it was absolutely not worth it. But yeah. There is a Joseph Brooks on the server today. But yeah, we'll see what happens today. Ooh, the axolotls are spinning. Well, it was for a second. We're down to 3 of them. And sometimes they do just nope, there's the 4th one. They seem to despawn sometimes, and I'm not 100% sure why. Yeah. Our adult supervision is gone today, so we're gonna have to fill in the content all ourselves, and I think that League. I've been digging out this section around these lights to maybe finally fix them in a sane way, rather than just these 3 levers that are strapped to the back. Which have served well for what I needed them to do, but are kind of not accomplishing the original goal of what I wanted this area to look like. So, there's that. We should just start from the bottom here and start to work our way around. We don't really need to go back up to the top. We just need to dig out the shape that I've already kind of like pre-set up here. And then we're gonna fill in with bricks down here as we go around. Depending on how things go today, we may or may not finally have to learn how to build a redstone clock to be on the agenda for the day. But yeah, we're gonna be Minecrafting for a bit, at the very least. If I do decide to switch to League of Legends, you are indeed invited to play, Vex. If you so desire to play some League of Legends. You can have your awesome Shaco gameplay featured. A very, very legitimate stream. But yeah, perhaps some redstone. I've not done this yet because for a while I just didn't know how to do exactly what I was trying to do here. Because what I wanted was, I wanted these lights to basically do a pulse where they start at the top and they light up going down. And I had not ever been properly shown how to do that. I couldn't quite figure it out on my own. So these kind of have languished in obscurity for a while. And then Ox recently, I forget when we saw that or how we got to that point where she pointed out how you would do that with observers, and I was like, I see, I understand now. So I know how to get them to light in the correct order, the way that I want them to, but I don't know how to pulse them at appropriate time, which to my best guess here is where a redstone clock comes in. You send a pulse every so often to the chain of observers that will light the lights in the correct order. So we're just digging out this area for kind of a maintenance tunnel crawlway thingy. For those people who know me, you know that I build things in kind of goofy ways. So this is going to be one of those where, did we need this area? Not really, but am I going to build this area? Yeah. Of course I am. While we unearth the relics of how this has been powered currently. Yeah, Vex says, I'm down for some League of Legendsing. You will of course be required to carry us since I sacrificed Faker to summon you. Yeah, seems legit. I'll do my best. That's just further proof, if you had to sacrifice Faker, though, that we live in the darkest timeline. Surely T1 will not make it back to the finals again. Again, right? Surely they can't keep getting away with it. I'm so used to, we win a little bit and then we gotta take a couple years where we suck, but since our roster keeps not, like, truly exploding, wonder if we'll just be able to maintain, like, being mostly kinda good for a while? We're just, like, trading away one player at a time? Or if we'll just like hit the critical mass at one point. Like, will it all fall apart when we lose Caria? Is that actually the threshold? I think T1 will be fine. Faker will need to do more than be ritually sacrificed before he retires. Yeah. For sure. I do think we will have a difficult time, though. The day we lose Caria. I think Caria is just so comically good. Alright. I'm just trying to find anything in these chests here. Really, one of them is the dirt. That's got some dirt. Andesite. Well, a decent amount of andesite in it. I don't know if that's where we're putting the andesite. It is now. What is your opinion on Doran? I know he's got a lot of hate over the past year or so. But it clearly worked. Yeah. I don't know. I like Doran. I think he is a perfectly fine top laner. I do kind of think that that's all he needs to be. Perfectly fine top laner. And I think that T1 functions. So I think it's just we have like such a history effects of having like the best guy sometimes. So like when we had Zeus, when we had Impact back in the day, when we had what was the guy before Zeus? Who have been all the T1 top laners? I'm gonna look this up really quick. Because I'm sure it's more of them that have gone elsewhere. See if we can check this out real quick. Who have been the assorted top laners? That we had? I want to say we had Marin at one point. In 2016 we had Duke. Yeah, we had Marin in 2015. He was really good. If I recall correctly, 2017. I guess we got Huni for a bit. That was goofy. We have a bunch of people that have been forgotten over the years. There's been a lot of assorted T1 members. Since T1. Since it switched to T1, it was mostly just Zeus, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I think as long as they have like a okay top laner, like it works. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think Doran is a problem. I think you would like it if he was the once in a generation phenomenal talent, but like, it's not who he is. He's just like a pretty good guy, pretty good player. You don't really care that much about pro play, right, Vex? You obviously know some stuff about it, but I did not get the impression that you are a big follower of professional play. Yeah, and to be fair, I think a lot of the dislike for him comes from people being upset about how we lost Zeus. I vaguely keep up with it, but no, I'm not massively into it. I'll probably watch at least the finals from now on, though. It was fun. Yeah. I pretty much always get together with some people to watch the finals, so you pretty much always invited, Vex. I just think it's fun to get to actually watch it with a group. In the past, my friend Connor, the one who fell asleep, we'd normally like get together at his house and watch it, but he moved away, and so we haven't been able to do that anymore. And so I think for at least for a good little bit, the online get together will be the way to go for Worlds. I'm just ready for it to not be in the really like fuck all middle of the night. But I think we're screwed. I think next year it's South Korea, if I remember correctly. It goes China, then it goes South Korea. And or does it go China then us? Or is it finally is it NA again, actually? Because it was Korea the year before, wasn't it? Hard to keep the cycle correct, but I want to say, actually, now that I think about it, it goes to us next here in North America. So if it comes here, Vex, clearly we should just go. Just get tickets, and we'll actually go to Worlds. Yeah, it was rough. It was hard to watch any of the games this year because they were all at like ungodly hours of the night for us here in North America. Like I said, one of my friends fell asleep while we were while watching the game together in Discord. Then I believe Vex was like, let me bail before that's me too." Didn't want to be the person falling asleep in the Discord call. Which I can't blame you for. Yeah, I would be down depending on what my finances look like. Well, unfortunately, it's a little farther than I'd like to walk. Yeah, it really depends. If it's actually over here, like if it's here at Staples, or not Staples, I'm going to keep calling it Staples, even though it's not the Staples Center anymore, but I refuse to engage with the new name, so. But if it's over here in LA, I would absolutely offer to just give you a place to stay. We just have to scrape together the airline ticket, which is definitely the cheaper part of that equation, gotta say. Flights, I feel, are not that bad, actually. Like, domestic flights, not that bad anymore, but depends on, like, when and how well you plan for that, but the domestic flight is not that bad. The hotel, Airbnb, or wherever you're staying, in the food are usually the two things that absolutely just totally fuck you up. go back up here. So yeah, if that's the case, Vex, we'll see. But if they pick like, I want to say the last time it was in NA, it was in Montreal. I think it was in Canada. Yeah, 150 for the round trip. Like, legit, I would just be like, here, Vex, I've legitimately we'll buy you the ticket. Get your ass out here. We're going to see the finals. It's going to be awesome. Because, like, 150 is not at all bad. Do I'd just be like scrounge together like money for food and for fun times. That's all that matters. We're gonna grab one more bar shulker. See how many stonecutters we still have in here. One more stonecutter. I don't know if we have a stonecutter over here. There was a stonecutter over here for the longest time that I had like abandoned during well, actually not abandoned, but just like left over here while I was working on this stuff originally, but then I cleaned it up at some point. Oh, rats, I grabbed regular deep slate? I'm trolling. We need cobbled. I was not paying attention. Actually, I think I just have messed up this part of my storage in general. Much as you might think my storage is messed up all the time, Vex, this part of it, I put deep slate first. I'm not sure that that was the correct play. I should have put cobbled first. In the row. I should have just made the one I really want to grab all the time, the first one. Yeah, I have a ton of deep slate. Why, like... Have you looked at my base? Of course I have a ton of deep slate. More specifically... Like, have you looked at this area? This is why I have a ton of deep slate. I had to chew through all of this part. And a decent chunk of this. Yeah, I have a lot of it. A lot of deep slate. Done that. I've done this here. This has generated a not insignificant amount of deep slate. Oh, there's actually a stonecutter down here? That's funny. That's where one of them is. All of this down here has generated a not insignificant amount of deep slate. So, a little funny, but we got 7 rockets. That's not gonna last us very long. Did I put more rockets in here? The real question. Did. Hooray. So, Vex, did you start playing Minecraft, then discover Redstone, or did you already just like know about Redstone and then that's what made you play Minecraft? Out of curiosity. Because it seems a little difficult to imagine you doing other things than redstoning. But you obviously do some small amount of aesthetic building. You're entryway to the onto the nether roof is proof of that. And it says I was not interested in redstone until like 2020. Before that I mostly played modded Minecraft. Oh, okay. What kind of modded Minecraft did you play? If you're about to tell me that you were like exclusively a Cobblemon player before this, I will truly be shocked, actually. Like, genuinely surprised. Okay, we're gonna need way more of this than I made to fill this area in. I was a kid, so really whatever I found that was interesting because kids have no tastes. Capital no tastes. It's funny. But largely tech mod packs, very similar to what I do now, just easier. Alright, makes sense. Yep, that's it. We ran out very quickly. That's cool, though. I imagine that there are a, like, incredibly large amount of tech Minecraft packs, right? Yeah, largely tech Minecraft, tech mod packs, Minecraft Tech Hit, Project Ozone. I really liked Attack of the B-Team and Hexit back in the day. What are those two? What is Attack of the B-Team? That's the one that seems a little harder to tell what that is. Not that either one is obvious. Hexit is not. But Hexit sounds a lot more like what you'd expect a tech Minecraft pack to be called than Attack of the B-Team, which does not sound like a tech Minecraft pack. Yeah, it's definitely the most popular type of mod pack, or at least it was pre-RL Craft. Minecraft actually works really well as factory builder. LOL. LOL. Lamau. I can't remember then, but do you play a lot of the, like, the Factorio, Satisfactory type games? The factory builder genre now? I've never actually played any of those games. I've never really, like, felt any compulsion to play any of those games. Okay, and Hexit is actually not a tech pack, it's an exploration slash dungeon crawler pack made before they sucked. And I do have a cool 800 hours in Factorio. Gotcha. I am not really surprised. That torch just kind of looked like it ghosted off for a second. That was funny. But, yeah, that's not a huge surprise. Alright. Now, do we think that this needs to actually be one wider? I don't think it does. I think we need to go out by one. We gotta figure out, like, how high. So we need to be on the second one to clear. I should also note that pre-2020, I also did not play all that much Minecraft as I was on my PUBG arc, or they ruined it. Oh, gotcha. I've never played PUBG, so... Oh, we need to go a whole nother one higher, actually. How did they ruin PUBG? Because PUBG was the OG of the battle royales, was it not? The battle royale in its format now that Fortnite has basically taken over. Come on. Alright, that one's going to despawn. I don't have an interest in going to get it. Oh, or I guess it'll fall down. Okay. Yeah, the most blunt way to put it is they took an indie game and tried to make it into a AAA game. Yeah. Because what did PUBG start as a mod for something else? My brain tells me it started as a mod for something else, but I actually just can't remember / don't know. Is it, if I, again, am recalling information I don't actually know, it does stand for something, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds or something like that. And if I'm, like, truly talking out of my ass, I vaguely remember that, like, Player Unknown part, that's like somebody's screen name or something. I'm really out of the loop on the PUBG lore. So... they did not make me a PUBG knower. The other issue is they kind of cut the Western player base to focus on the Chinese player base, which I can understand. The game was giga popular in China, but it still contributed to me leaving. Yeah. How did they manage to do that, though? How do you... Because, like, League, for example, has a huge, way bigger Chinese player base, but I've never really felt like that screwed us over. And so I'm kind of curious how they specifically mess things up for the Western players by catering to China. I mean, obviously, I can look this up later. You don't have to. Type it all to me. Oh, I missed this row, actually, just to begin with. That should not have been like that. I wanted them all to be at least 3 back, so that one I just missed on the first pass. So that should have been like that. Yeah, and that's now correct. But now we're going... we want to be a 4th one back. So that means this whole... that one goes. And then, of course, there was some people with some really interesting capital O opinions on that. Parentheses, PUBG players are shockingly racist against Asians for some reason. Yeah. I'm always a little surprised by the level of racism you see directed at Asians. I mean, obviously, I don't really quite understand why the racists are doing anything that the racists are doing. Let's be real there. Hard to ponder the mind. But I don't know. None of that really ever made much sense. But I feel like you do really see that in a lot of gaming communities. A lot of gaming communities are surprisingly racist against Asians. And hey, Ghost Boy, yeah. I also do get some of the hate. How are you doing, Ghost Boy? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream where apparently we talk about racism. That's where we've arrived tonight. You know, the non-controversial topics where I would say this is a non-controversial topic because I would tell you racism is bad, and if you are a racist, perhaps do not come to this stream. Kind of impressed if you're here, honestly. But I think racism is bad. World's least controversial take. I know. Unfortunately, we live in America right now, and it sucks to suck here because it's been quite popular to be racist. And just by doing well, Lamau, I mean, it is a thing. Racism is bad. Don't make this stream political, Eve. Racism being political? Yeah, what a time to fucking be alive. That's the world we live in, where people are just like, I just want to call people horrible names, and that's my God-given right as an American. It's my freedom of speech, and so you shouldn't be able to criticize me for that. Freedom of speech, freedom of speech. And it's like, unfortunately, no, you're still responsible for your words, as it would turn out. The amazing level to which the freedom of speech people are just like, freedom of speech should protect me from all negative ramifications of the thing I said, and not actually just be about the government shouldn't prosecute me for my speech. It's just like, you guys really misread the. I mean, no, I can't even say you misread the Constitution, because I'm like, none of these people read the Constitution. All the people who are like, freedom of speech is like, lets me say whatever I want. It's like, yeah, you didn't read what you were actually quoting, though. So, I know, again, non-controversial takes, but somehow we're here where this has become a controversial take. I invite great conflict by speaking about politics, but I will do it. Because I just believe that you should talk about these things. Racism bad. Homophobia bad. Transphobia bad. It shocked are obviously many transphobes in the audience. Hi, Ox. I'm audioless and not here for long, but here have a little engagement as a treat. Yeah, thanks, Ox. Thanks for dropping by. For most of you who might not quite parse what that is about, Ox is on an airplane right now, therefore cannot really join stream today. But we're really thankful for her to dropping by at all. Hopefully, the flight is going well. I'm actually just going to type this. Yeah. Airtight box, Chica type box. We did spend about 10 minutes debating, not even debating, but just talking about the ramifications of one of the airline employees calling Ox a chica, as opposed to many of the other ways that you could definitely refer to a woman in Spanish. And how, kind of depending on who says that to you, it's like some version of either young woman or cute woman, cute girl, one of the two. And you kind of just have to figure it out from like the context, because like, supposing you were going to get catcalled in Spanish, people would say, they would call you chica, and be like, oi chica. But I'm assuming that's not what happened in the airport. It'd be kind of crazy. The airline employees catcalling would be not on my bingo card. It would be incredibly insane and funny to some level. Yeah, Chica is a little bit. You're kind of on the spot there, Vex. Not bad, not far off. That did happen the other day at dinner, though. Fox did indeed tell me that you look like Feliz Navidad is your favorite Christmas song, because I said that it is my favorite Christmas song. She was like, I don't think I can make this joke. I was like, well, it's incredibly funny, regardless. But yeah. So, have you been up to anything cool lately, Ghost Boy? It's been a little while. Hopefully things have been good for you. They've been good over here. Whee! I was just telling Vex that for next year's League of Legends World Championship, it's going to be here in North America. And obviously, he's going to make the trip out here. So I got to set the same thing out to you, Ghost Boy. You should come by. You should come by for next year's World Championship for League of Legends. I know you care deeply about League of Legends. But I'll also put you up. We can have a whole fucking group party and we'll go see the games live. Supposing they're out here. Actually, again, we talked about, I don't know where they're going to be. They're coming to North America this year, but I don't know where. So, like, could actually be over on the East Coast, at which point I'd be like, hey, I'm coming over. Let's all meet up. And then, clearly, Ghost Boy, you guys can meet up beforehand and... We'll just, we'll put up for a hotel somewhere at the venue. I wanted to make a joke to be like, all right, you two can carpool, just get together, and you can literally be two men in a truck, but I actually don't know what you drive at all. And I assume it's not a truck. I actually don't know that, but I've never assumed that you drive a truck. Vex does not drive. So I suppose we'd just be two guys. And lol, I just drive a little Scion. Gotcha. Yeah, not gonna lie. Like, I know that you don't drive Vex, but I also, if I wasn't making assumptions about you, would have just been like, there's statistically no shot that Vex drives a truck. The day that you can drive, if you get a truck, I'll just be like, that's like truly one of the most out of character things you could have done with yourself. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misjudging you, but you do not scream truck energy. I would not drive a truck on principle. Lol. Okay, I'm curious how that's not true. Because it seems like you thought about it and came up with a scenario where you would drive a truck. And I'm a little curious what it is. As we chug away through this project, yeah, okay. I agree with this take. My opinion on it is as follows. Trucks are great if you need a truck. Most people who own trucks, including the truck drivers in my family, do not need a truck. Have to allow that one. Ghostboy says, I'd drive a truck if it wasn't for the gas usage. Yep. I understand a lot of the logic for why one might want a truck. I just don't... I kind of agree with Vex. I think that the average person who currently owns a truck has absolutely no need for a truck. And really, trucks here, where I live, exist to ruin my experience in parking structures. Trucks are just so big by this point in time that trucks in parking structures are the worst thing ever. I gotta say. It's just a nightmare. Absolutely a nightmare. Because you're like, these parking spots were made for like sane-sized cars, and this is not a sane-sized car. That says, my brother has a big fuck-off diesel truck that he frankly can't afford to gas. He uses the truck part of the truck like once a year. Lol. So I don't really understand it. I also really hate how everyone seems to want big old cars. Small cars seem superior to me, even though I admit they often look a bit funny. Yeah, I am a small car girly as well. I generally agree. I don't think that most people need a big car. I understand basically up to the mid-size SUV size of car, like why people want those. Because, like, I get it when you have, like, okay, you have a couple family members, you need to transport groups around, or, like, for most things, you, like, here, you want to be able to buy a TV, so you would like a car that, like, a TV will fit in, etc., etc. But I think for the most part, you're truly just fine with, like... Because, like, I drive a RAV4 right now. And I think the RAV4 is the biggest car I've ever had. And I think the RAV4 is like the biggest car I could imagine actually needing. So like, that's me. And that's the last one, cool. Oh, went kind of crooked though. So I will understand. Perhaps I will understand once I start driving. I admit that my opinions are not super well formed. I do have to say, though, as a non-driver, drivers are fucking crazy. I feel like I'm the only sane person in this world watching people road rage over the most minuscule things. My favorite example is people being mad at other people going the speed limit instead of 5 miles per hour above it or whatever. Yeah, that one's always funny. You probably are more sane in that regard. Because driving does, like, slowly erode your sanity. On the freeway, I too would be upset at somebody going the speed limit. Because, like, over here in California, the speed limit is 65. And collectively, every human on the freeway has decided, nah, let's not do that. Let's all agree to drive 75 instead of 65. And if we all do it, the cops can't arrest us because we're just all doing it. And so, like, over here on the freeway, the only way you'd get arrested for speeding is if you're going 80. But if you're going 75 like everybody else is, you're just like, fine, you're Gucci. Oh god, that's a nightmare ghostplay. Yeah, I've seen a college student driving an F750 down here. Literally no reason for that. My favorite is when people are surprised I actually stop at stop signs. That one's pretty good. Yeah, people should use stop signs. Another hot take there, but... by my house, there are a lot of four-way intersections, and when people don't... I gotta say, four-way stop intersections, people don't understand four-way stop intersections in a way that baffles me. I find it utterly bizarre that people are so bad at, like, figuring out the turn order and, like, who goes when, and that people who are going... like, people who are taking left turns here yield to people who are going straight. And it's just like... it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare every time I'm like, okay, I got to the stop at the same time as someone going the opposite direction of me, and I'm turning left and they're going straight. And then they sit there and they don't move, and then eventually they, like, start flashing their headlights at me like, go. And I'm like, dude, the law is that I yield to the people going straight. It's like that everywhere. Turns yield here. It's on, like, our big intersection signs. It'll just be like, left turn yields to oncoming traffic. It's just the way that it works. And no, Ghost Boy, we don't really have roundabouts here. I know of a few roundabouts, but they're, like, there's one near one of the colleges near me. But other than that, there are basically no roundabouts. And then says, I have family that will curse someone out for 20 minutes straight after they have to do a weird pullout or whatever. Then a few weeks later, we'll do the same thing and just be like, oops, tee-hee. Literally the anime girl with her tongue out and hands over her head. Well, that's pretty good. But yeah, I like that you can be pulled over for doing, like, if you're going below the speed limit. The funniest version of being pulled over. Okay. Ghostface just says, y'all are lucky. When we first got roundabouts, it was a true circus show. I could believe it. Do you have roundabouts where you live, Vex? Oh, did we dig one too far? This is 5. Whoops. We did dig one too far, didn't we? Should be like that. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Alright. I have seen 2 roundabouts IRL, at least that I can recall. I used to live really close to one. Gotcha. Beep, 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 beep. Putting in all our flooring. Yeah. There are a couple. Like, I can think of places, actually, that I've seen roundabouts. One of the, like... But they're not, like, in the roadway, generally. There'll be, like... It's like, I can think of that one that's in... It's literally, like, in the college. One of the roads that goes through the college that I'm thinking of has a roundabout. The other roundabout that I'm immediately thinking of is one that is in, like, a big medical center that I've been to for some of my healthcare stuff. And so that's another one where I'm like, it's in the grounds of the medical facility. But I've never seen a roundabout that's just, like, out on the public roads over here. I don't think we have any that are like that. At least not to my knowledge. There could be one, and like someone else who lives out here could just be like, oh yeah, it's over here at blank place. And I just don't know. There's just so much stuff out here. Alright, so let's go really quick over to the creative server and take a look at the version of this. Here was our big gate that we made last stream. We might work on this later. We might switch to League of Legends. Who knows, but this was our project last stream, figuring out how to remodel the gate for my base. And I think it looks pretty cool. I'm very excited to continue to work on it. But we're doing this little bit of light stuff. We're doing this little bit of light work, mostly because Ox is not here. That's kind of why this has happened. Because I once, I talked about this when Ox told me how to do this, and then I was like, oh, okay. I get it, I get it. And then I was like, what if I were to work on this on stream? And then Ox was like, I think I would stop watching for a while you did that. Watching other people do redstone is apparently not a great time, in her opinion. So we have a little version where it doesn't quite work right. There are longer pulses. And then we learned that just requires the extra block. I actually don't know if this works with, does this work with copper bulbs? I don't think I'm going to replace these with copper bulbs, but... Or are copper bulbs weird? Do copper bulbs, like, remember that they turned on? What does this do? Yeah, see, copper bulbs... It's cool, actually, in a different way. It's just like, it looks like an incredibly long pulse. So we're gonna do this one. We don't want these things to stay on. Bex says, watching Acorn do redstone can be testing at times. Gotcha. The only thing that gets me a little bit sometimes about Acorn doing redstone is truly just the times where it's like, Acorn will be like, I've learned this new thing, and it's like, except that's the thing we've totally done that before. We have definitely done that before. Alright, so we gotta decide. I guess we're just gonna do Deep Slate. No, I want to do a different block just because I want to denote where the block is part of the redstone instead of just making it Deep Slate like everything else. And over here, I've done that with just some diorite blocks. on this machine. So we might do that again here, just for consistency's sake. Oof. We'll see, though. I will be a little curious to see when the next time Acorn is doing, like, big redstone stuff is. Feel like it will not be soon. The World Eater really was just, like, the bane of Acorn's existence, and I grow less and less confident the longer it goes on. Oh, there's still a gun over here. Yeah, I think she burned herself out pretty hard with the trenching. Yeah, I think it's a mix of the burnout. Mix of the burnout combined with the, like, the project overwhelm, combined with the idea of scheduling, like, I think one of the things that makes it not quite as easy is the idea of scheduling, like, a day to get people together to do the World Eater, to mine all the materials. I think that's another thing that is just, like, in her head about it. Okay, can I get this? Cool. It's been the first time in a long time that these are not lit. But they're gonna have to be turned off for a little bit here. Yeah, Beck says she's almost done with it, though. She's done with the hard parts. Yeah. I've helped with a couple World Eaters. I do not think they are the most difficult thing. I think once you learn to build... Oh god, we didn't need it there. We need it there. What's it called? Once you, learn just to what exact order to build the TNT duper in, I think you're pretty much good. And it's literally the only part of that you can mess up is build the TNT duper incorrectly and accidentally blow it up. And, like, if you've built the trenchers, you've built TNT dupers before. So... definitely think that Acorn is very capable of doing this project. And would love to see it one day, but I don't know that we will. I do remember Acorn was saying that perimeters were easy and unimpressive when she started. I do believe that she has underwent a character arc. Yeah, I think that character arc has been one of fear, absolute terror. So, who knows? We may or may not one day get the World Eater. Alright, now I gotta check. Do I have observers built? Not. We're gonna be building observers. We will take this there, put in our stuff. There's absolutely no shot that I have this many observers. I'm just going to call that out right now. I have 18 observers, so... like, I knew there was no way I would have this many for this project. So we're going to have to go make observers. And actually, what did I hit right there? Oh. Hit this one single, like, stone what is it? Stalactite? Or stalagmite? It's stalactite. And stalagmite is the one on the floor. But, observers, that's what I was doing. Took me a brief second after I collided with that to remember. Okay, so what do we need? We need cobble, nether, redstone. Very geology of you. Now watch Rory Rocks. I have not seen Rory Rocks. I know our one friend, Joseph Rooks, has talked about it on Discord, and that's about all I know. I guess I actually don't have a lot of... oh no, I must have the crystal on the shore. Was it good though, Vex? What is it about? I'm gathering that it's vaguely about geology, some capacity. And my brain then tells me that surely it's a club show. But I could be wrong. It could be like adult geology show. Bam. I'm not sure that this is enough observers, actually. We're gonna make more. We'll just actually pull some of these out, though. Put them in the chest here. Therefore, have some degree of them without having to open a shulker. Yes, as you have said, rock mommies, my brain is now like, well, I'm now a little less confident that it's a club show, and I am a little curious. It's just like adults doing geology show. It's just a children's show about geology, but the author knew what it would take to get people to watch a show about rocks. Got it. I think club show is probably accurate in terms of vibe, if not accurate in terms of specifics. Okay. Oops. Turn off our mini HUD rendering for the moment. I know some people are not a fan of the light levels. Okay. That's what I thought. It's the other way, but I... Are observers always directional like that? Can I place an observer, but no, they just always face the same way? Huh. I didn't realize that. But yeah, kind of feels like Dr. Stone, but slice of life and about rocks specifically. Okay, can I do this combination of buttons? I can. Just took me a second. this is awkward, because now we're... not really giving ourselves a lot of room to work with. It's really got big crawl space energy here, but we gotta fit it under the floor. So we're working with what we got. Go do the next one. So how many did we use, actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It says 18 observers per, so 64 wasn't enough, but we did end up making a few too many of them. Whoops. Not the way I meant to put that. I like, though, that you can see the whole stack of them firing. The observers really also have like a Thomas the Tank Engine face aesthetic going on with them that I just think is a little bit funny. Whoops. Well, yeah, there are some texture packs that change their face that are pretty funny. Nice. Doesn't surprise me. What kind of other faces do people put on them? I believe there was a Skyrim mod that turns the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engines. Been a long time since I was Skyrimming. Kind of funny that I think you can see the towers going off as we've been doing this. All right, so now we will go build our scaffolding. They'll make them angry or give them a villager nose. Oh god, that sounds awful. The villager nose thing in particular sounds awful, actually. Miserable time. Hate that for us. So we are going to expand this. We're going to go one higher. And we're actually going to make this its own level. I think we're going to put a floor in here. I would like to see the angry observers, though. That does seem funny. Villager noses, not so much. I really kind of despise everything to do with villagers in Minecraft. They are kind of the worst. And you were there, Vex, right, for the Minecraft watch along on Acorn server, right? I vaguely remember you being there. And perhaps being equally as horrified by the villager romance arc that happened in that movie. Truly one of the worst things that they've ever made me look at with my eyes. an actual nightmare. Oh shit. Whoops. Misclicked right there. That Minecraft movie sure was something, wasn't it? Like, I know I'm not the target demographic. I never was the target demographic. So, hard to really complain about something that's obviously not for you. God, can I even see that from down there? Might be easier to place from this level, I'm not actually sure. Index says, I am pretty disappointed by it. Yeah, gotcha. I just don't know what, like, another version of that could have been. Maybe I'm lacking in imagination, but... yeah, I do agree with that. I think that we make too many movies that are, air quotes, for kids, and this excuses them being bad as well. In a way that, like, I don't know. I do agree with you on that one. I think that things for kids can be interesting. I mean, I know from my childhood, for whatever reason, the generation before me, they really went with the what if we made children's stuff like traumatizing, actually, somehow. Which was an interesting angle for them to choose. I am not in the target demographic for Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I still love it. Well, yeah. I'm really of the opinion that, like, children's media can be a lot more, I guess the word I would pick is challenging than it is. Just because, like, I think children are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. I think children understand things pretty well, and, like, kids' movies can indeed be much more complex than sometimes they make them. And I get that some of them are really like, we're making a movie that's just like, air quotes, all ages, and so we're not pandering, but I guess we're playing down to the fact that you need to cover, like, the youngest children. But I don't know. Yeah, as Vex just pointed out, Avatar: The Last Airbender, clearly a children's TV show, but I think does not fall into the same thing that Vex and I are talking about here. Okay, we actually gotta widen this a little, because we need extra space to squeeze through this area. This part is going to have big crawl space energy, and I think we're going to have to go out a whole nother one, which is interesting here. And this is rapidly turning into, like, a whole nother space we have to worry about, because it's quite cramped. Quite cramped. We're gonna make it even. We're gonna go 4 out from every zone then. And we're just gonna do it again. I forgot that this decoration for the floor pushed out farther into this area. So Okay, in my opinion, shitty media literacy problem is more of a product of neutering children's media rather than lacking education system. Not that our education system isn't lacking. Even Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is actually really good about this comparatively, neuters itself too much. Children's media can really just be what most adult media is without gore and sex, to be honest. I think I kind of agree. I think there's a lot to which, like, there were a lot of things that were kind of more like that when I was younger. Gen X made a lot of really, like, weird movies for air quotes for kids, the animated stuff. And I do think that there's some level to which some of it is like difficult, and there was stuff that was kind of scary when I was a kid, and you do, I guess people are just really trying to avoid that now. But I do think that they've swung too far in the other direction. This is supposed to be one more here. That I think in an effort to not scare any children, sometimes we've gone in the direction of never present anything like more interesting for children. I kind of agree that bad media literacy, like, we do a really bad job now. It's like, I remember when I was growing up, my parents did a really good job of always reading to me. And I think that really helped me throughout my life, that they read to me a lot as a child. And, like, I struggle to imagine parents these days reading to their children. Most, like, people I know don't read anymore. And so, like, I don't suspect that changes a lot when I get to the parent demographic, because, like, most people I know are not parents, but I'm not imagining that suddenly, if I were to meet a ton of parents, that they're actually reading, and it's way different. Maybe that's rude of me, but, like, I don't feel like having a kid makes you more of a reader all of a sudden. So, who knows? But, yeah. So, I'm not sure. Grand scheme of it is, like, I don't know this stuff either, because I am both not a parent, not a child psychologist. Don't know why we do a lot of the things we do in regards to children. So my opinion's taken with a grain of salt in this regard. Yeah, it is Ghostplay. It's all about audiobooks now. Yep, it's been very audiobook for the last couple years. And, like, I would generally say that I think audiobooks are a good thing. I do think that if people are not going to read books, then I think that audiobooks will do them a lot of good, because I think that will allow them still to get the correct height. Yeah, it is. Okay. Because I think that that's still, like, more interesting media and, like, more complex media than you get a lot of the times otherwise. I do think that there is something to having a physical book and being able to read it. I do think it's a different experience. I think it lets you... I don't think it lets you... I think it forces you, having a physical book forces you to engage with the media just a little differently than an audiobook does. I think audiobook really lets your brain do, like, the I'm watching TV thing, and having an actual physical book in your hands does change the way that you approach reading. I don't think that one is necessarily intrinsically better than the other. That's not an opinion I'm gonna, like, really take here, but I do think that they're different, and I think they engage you in different ways. Sebex says, I do not want to say that I hate audiobooks since I think since I think they're doing good things overall, but every time I hear someone listen to a book rather than just fucking read it, all I can feel is casual. Yeah, I don't mind listening. I don't mind audiobooks for like listening in cars, but if you're listening to them in your house, come on. I was watching a video review on a lit RPG book I enjoyed recently, and the reviewer criticized something in the book, but then said maybe I just didn't understand because I was listening to the book while doing other things, and I just hate that so much. Why can't we just sit down and read? You do not need to be distracted by multiple things at once at any given time. Yep, I'd agree with that. I think that... So, like, I am a big... not anymore, but I was a really big audiobook listener. And the way that I used audiobooks was very specifically, I listened to audiobooks at work. This was basically my way of the fact that I have a shitty job. I'm kind of stuck at work. And I was just filling the time by listening to audiobooks because like I need both of my hands to be doing my job. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to books. Because I can't like hold a book in my hand and do my work. But I'm like bored out of my absolute mind being here at work. So I'm going to listen to books. And so I was doing that for a long time before I got into Twitch. Now I've pivoted back to not really doing a lot of audiobook stuff anymore. And I've bought like my favorite books in print and everything, and like I've been reading that way again and everything. But it was just like this was what I was doing because I needed something to do. My work was like so mind-numbingly boring, and I don't have to interact with people very often at my job. So it was just like, okay, need something to do here. But yeah, reviewing a book and being like, yeah, you know, I didn't like it that much, but or like I didn't get this, but I was just like listening to it while doing other things. It's just like, why are you reviewing this book, honestly? If you're just like a casual like reader telling someone that, yeah, I didn't quite get this, but I also wasn't quite paying enough attention, it's like, yeah, obviously. But you know why you didn't get it then, right? Because you weren't paying that much attention. That part was pretty obvious. So weird to try to review a book and then be like, I didn't get it, but I also wasn't paying full attention to it. Can't people just sit down and read? You do not need to be distracted by multiple things at once at any given time. Yeah, I also agree though. A lot of people are trying to do too many things, and I don't think that the human brain is actually as good at multitasking as a lot of people assume that they are. And I think you do, instead of doing one thing well, sometimes you end up just doing two things kind of shitty. And I do think that some people are like much more capable of doing multiple things at once, but I still don't think that they're doing them as well as if they were just focused on the one thing. And like this, again, grain of salt, I don't have a lot of like knowledge of these things, and so like for my obvious ADHD gang, I know that the doing one thing can be like just incredibly difficult for neurodivergent people. So I know that everything I say has to be taken in the light of that too, that there are some people who just brains work different and they do these things the way that they do because it's like that's the thing that works for you. Oh, we've run out again. At the very least, if you're distracted while consuming any piece of media, you waive all rights to make public criticism on it. Same thing with people who watch anime and dub specifically because they want to do other things while they watch. Or while they quote watch. Don't like dub, but I respect someone's desire to watch in dub for any reason other than that one. Watch the show, damn it. And it says, well, maybe everyone's brain should work like mine does. Very tragic for you that we don't live in a world where everybody's mind works like yours does. Then you could stop being the smartest person in the room. But alas, we live in this dimension. Make some more of the cobble into the polished. Oh no, I would still be the smartest person in the room. What I have can't be taught or replicated. Ah, I gotcha, I gotcha. And we go. We're getting pretty close, though, on this project. Much. Sorry, snowflakes, that's just facts and logic. Not the snowflakes. So, yep. I generally wish that there was more. Did we go one too far? Or did I just learn that this thing is slightly incorrect right here? Huh. Interesting. It should be 2 on all of them, but this one has one where it's 1. That's funny. Okay. Guess we're gonna fix that. Well, we're learning something today, friends. Apparently, when I originally constructed this, it was off by a single block placement right here. And this has gone largely unnoticed for a long time. I actually don't remember when I built this, but this has apparently been incorrect for some significant amount of time. So that one was one of those, I believe. Then it'll be... We'll pull this one, because that's now going to be one of these. Then it should be just brick all the way down. And now it should be correct. That's too funny. Well, I guess I'm glad we noticed that because of this project. Obviously, like, was it mega important if it had never been noticed before? Probably not. But it is funny. Fun to be doing, like, this kind of infrastructure work and then catch, like, a weird old problem like that. I think after we get this part built, though, Oh god. Didn't... That trolled me. That scaffolding moved. What the... Wonder if that was like server lag right there? That scaffolding placed in front of me and then like swapped to the other position. All right, get that in. All right, that should now allow us to walk up here with significantly less problems than we were previously having. Nice. This area actually stays lit. That's cool. I am returned with leftover wings and blackberry ginger ale. Sounds good. What kind of wings? And are they wings that you made, or wings that you acquired from a wing restaurant? Sir Joseph Rooks is back again. I think they are spicy flavor from a local wing restaurant. Okay, that's pretty funny. Very descriptive. I guess my next question then is, are they spicy? Because nothing, I find it incredibly tilting when I try like any hot chicken place and then the thing that's labeled as spicy is not spicy. Let's count. These are all 4 away. At least until I think this area. Then it gets a little wonk. Actually, were they 4 away this way? Or are they only 3 away this way? See, they're only 3. Oh no, I forgot that we're counting from the lowest point there, so they're 4. This one should just be 5. And hey, Joe. Love it when spicy is a flavor. Pretty much a guarantee that it is neither spicy nor flavored. Yep. Feel like, air quotes, spicy is always pretty disgusting. But yeah, whenever I go to a hot chicken restaurant, I always order the thing that whatever they've like collectively decided is called hot. Because I'm like, if the thing that you call hot isn't actually hot, I lose all respect for your hot chicken restaurant. That's... like, did you even try? So back where I used to live, there was a chicken place called Richie's Hot Chicken. And I gotta say, one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had, because the one that was labeled hot was like the most pathetic thing I'd ever eaten. It says, but to be honest, the restaurants near me are cowards, and I struggle to identify their spice level. They are not spicy. Spice flavored is really just vinegar. Yeah, and I find vinegar tastes incredibly gross. I'm not a vinegar person. It's not good. It is not good. Taco Bell Diablo sauce is a true crime. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna throw it out there. I've never had Taco Bell Diablo sauce. This stems largely from the fact that I've never eaten at a Taco Bell, which might shock. That I have legitimately never eaten at a Taco Bell. Still four there. This is still four. We've just hit like another cave pocket. It's kind of obnoxious, but what can you do? We're digging in a cave system. Not that most things from Taco Bell aren't violations of the Geneva Convention, if only in vibe. Yeah. I think if I go and I eat at a Taco Bell, they revoke my Mexican card, so I'm like contractually obligated not to go try a Taco Bell. I think that's how that works. Kind of shocked that you've never eaten at a Taco Bell, but honestly, you go, girl. You're really not missing out on much. Yeah, I've never gotten that impression, and like part of that is probably just having grown up in a Hispanic family. Why would I ever have eaten at a Taco Bell? Okay, so that's the double. Means that the thing is supposed to be 5 there. It is, so. Like, surely, again, this is we're generalizing again, but surely, like, Italians are not lining up to eat at Olive Garden, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but that would genuinely kind of surprise me. Because Olive Garden is also on my list of it calls itself Italian food, but like, is it though? Most Mexicans I've met are actually pretty chill about things like that. Yeah, I mostly just joke about that. Like, a WPT is not as good as a proper one, but usually still considered a taco regardless. Olive Garden is food in Italian style. Olive Garden breadsticks are truly like some of the most disappointing bread I've eaten in my life. Gotta say, we barely cleared the bread bar for Olive Garden breadsticks. Maybe I'm rude, and if Olive Garden breadsticks are your favorite thing, I apologize, chatter, but please treat yourself. Eat something nice. I beg of you. Love yourself. Olive Garden bread is an Alfredo delivery vehicle. Okay, but do you actually even enjoy the Alfredo sauce at an Olive Garden then, Bex? Is that real news here? Because I'm not gonna lie, I would not have expected you to be on board with the restaurant Alfredo sauce. I do think I find that kind of surprising on some level. Whoops. Olive Garden bread is an Alfredo delivery vehicle, kind of like salsa and chips. It is acceptable, but not great. Are there good, like actual Italian food restaurants near you? Because my brain tells me, again, I think we discussed this last stream, Italian food has, like, one of the things that has been so thoroughly Americanized that you could find, air quotes, Italian restaurants pretty much everywhere. They're literally everywhere. And, like, are they authentic? I don't think so, but, like, are they the thing that Americans call Italian food? Yes. They're definitely that thing. Okay. Which is just the standard of their food in general. If there is, I have not been to them. Lol. Gotcha. Alright, so now we gotta decide. So you got that dug out. We gotta decide then if we're gonna run a line of I think we are. I think we're gonna run a line of white, the diorite blocks again to designate where the redstone is running on this. Rather than just put redstone directly on the floor, which we could do. But I don't think I want to, so we're gonna change it up a little bit. See what it fits in there. Nothing. We've run out of space. We'll open up another shulker for our miscellaneous items. And we comically did end up with a little bit of glass. It was very funny for us. But yeah. Um, I generally like Italian food. Or again, the thing that we Americans call Italian food that I'm sure any Italian would come in here and just like, immediately try to crucify us for calling it Italian food. We're like really eating what the American mind brain has imagined Italian food is. Right, so we want to keep our line 3 away. Try to keep it 3 away. So let's see how that works right here. Where does it have to curve in? I think right here, basically. Follow this pattern. Then it starts the zigzag. Because it'll go there. Huh. So interesting. It would have to go to this one, I think. Like that. It's going to be a slightly odd pattern here. Oh, because I guess this whole section's going to have to do that because it's a diagonal. Yeah, that's why. To do it that way. Oh, hey, T-Maz, how are you doing? What is up, Mr. T-Maz? Good to see you. Okay, this is gonna get a little weird. This section, I think it has to go a little bit farther. We're gonna find out. Let's see what this zigzag does here. So I guess it is 3. I guess this section being a little bit longer. But yeah, how are you doing, T-Maz? I hope you're doing great on this fine Sunday evening. We're doing a little bit of prep work here for some redstone. Having some fun, making some decorative lighting for my base. We're setting up. The redstone is going to run on these white blocks here. And that's just truly for decorative purpose, more than anything else. You want to see what we're actually doing here. We are trying to make these lights work. You can see them, they're in the glass here. So we have a stack of observers ready to fire. And when we fire them, they will pulse from the top light all the way down to the bottom light in sequence. And it's going to look pretty cool. This is kind of what I always wanted this to work like, and it is not. It has never worked. I've never actually set this part of it up. And so I'm finally trying to do it. We're doing a lot of, like, big renovation projects or things that I haven't been working on for a long time here in my base. It's been a lot of fun. It's fun to get to stuff that, you started a while back and you're just like, all right, now I'm ready. I have the power to finish this project. That's a little bit the streak that we've been on here. So we're finally making some progress on both this project and the big gate for my base, which has been another project that has kind of languished for a while because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. It's been a difficult one, and so kind of been left in this state of like half built for a long time. But last stream we built the new basically we built up the biggest part of the structure, and like we gotta finish it because it's gonna need like a little more bit of detailing, a little more embellishment. We're taking a little bit of an advantage right now of the fact that friend of the stream and excellent moderator Ox is not here right now. Do a little bit of redstoning on stream. Ox, excellent redstoner, great friend, excellent mod, truly struggles with watching people do redstone on stream though, which is, I find, quite funny. And so we're doing it right now. She's gone. The adults have left the room. And so we're doing a little bit of messing around while we're unsupervised. This might not end up being a super long stream. We'll find out. And we may indeed be playing some, we can call them viewer games of League of Legends. Mostly because if we do play, we will possibly play with friend of the stream and viewer Vex, whom many of you will know and love, I'm sure. Oh, rats. Placed that one wrong. Kind of impressed that I placed that one wrong. Am unsupervised redstone work. I'm here for it. I am standing behind something sturdy, but I am here for it. Well, we appreciate it, T-Maz. Redstone is always an adventure. This part, I mostly know how to do it. The adventure part is going to be when we have to figure out how to hook up a redstone clock to this thing, which is not the part that I figured out yet. I've not gotten the impression that that should be particularly difficult. The only thing I don't know where I should put it, honestly, if there's a good place to put it in regards to the system. To my understanding, they're not very big. I would just have to figure out how to, like, I guess adjust the pulse timings. Because basically, if you're here, T-Maz, I'll show you really quick what it is we're building on a much larger scale. But, oh, there's sheep here. We're building this so that when I want to hook up a clock to it so that it'll just fire these things like this. If you're here and can see the way that these lights work, so they basically pulse downward. Whoops. I guess we can. I should have put the button on top of this thing so that I could push it from higher up and see it work. But we're basically trying to build lights that do that on their own and like constantly. So, I just think that looks cool. If you ever needed to know how to do that, it is just a stack of observers. So it's one block, one observer facing that way, then a whole stack of observers facing this way. And that will create lights that go like that. Very fun. Phew. So we have a big section of those here, and we're going to try to get them to fire. The delay between the two sets of lights bugs me. Do you know of a way, Vex, to make it better? Or would it just have to be that each one has to have a synchronized redstone clock? So obviously the ones that are closer fire ever so slightly faster. And the way I was thinking of doing this would be to have them have the pulse only going one way, so even if they're firing sequentially, they're firing in a pattern, which would make that a little bit better. But if there's a good way, put the repeaters before the first observer. Okay. Beep-a-doop-a-doop. So here's the question, though. Obviously, that will fix it on this one. Will that fix it on our other one, however? Because our other one, this is the test one, this is the real one, and look how much farther the lights are from each other. The path has to travel quite far on the actual version. That way the signal goes across both observers, is on a segment that is activated all at once. I just don't even think I don't think you can activate one of these segments all at once, right? These things are huge. They're so far apart. Gonna let my phone charge, but gonna swing back through. All right, Ghost Boy. Good luck. Charge the phone. Have a great evening if this is the last time we see you. Okay, the simple way to put it is that you need to have the same number of observers between the input and each Individual observe. The simple, do you mean repeaters? Okay, I see that. Same number of repeaters. Okay, so... Because I know, what is a redstone signal travel? It's 15 blocks, I want to say. The brain typos. The brain typos are real. It's cool. Go back down here. So, let's say we start... Let's say we're going to put our clock somewhere in this area. I don't know if that means we can put it over here and have it feed directly over this first observer, or if we have to have it come into the redstone loop somewhere else. I actually don't really know how that's going to work. So we're going to put down our dust first. We're just going to make our dust ring. Because again, this is going to be incredibly large as it is designed. I suppose we could try to move this in closer, and that would fix some of this problem. But this thing is not small. Accidentally turned that one into a dot. Whee! And we're moving a lot of the signal. We might have to change the shape of this part just because we're moving a lot of this signal through a diagonal section. So I don't know if we can even make it through that without doing the thing. Let's start from the farthest one away and move it in. It'll be easier. So basically we could change that. Whoops, didn't mean to break the scaffolding there. Oh, it was scaffolding. Whoops. So, can we just turn into that path and then come along fully inside like that? Will that cause a problem with this stuff here? Do I have to make it go out one farther? Oops. Like that? Or does either version of this function? Is there a... Because I'll ask that, Vex. Because this diorite block is obviously... So as long as it's not on it. Because that block does get powered, but it's getting powered by this observer. So if we're basically going to do it that way and run the new section in... I will get to work on that. Because, yeah, this section is quite long, and I don't know... Again, even if we do it that way, will the repeaters... We can put a repeater... What? We can put a repeater here. We could put a repeater... Oh, I guess we would put it there. Supposing the pulse actually makes it, we can put one... I believe we can put one here, in this section here. As I think that the redstone will just connect that way. What you have with the current white blocks will work, it just might be a little bit janky. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll move it in regardless, because it's not a problem. We can just move it in the one. Or move it in to run along the edge of the system, just because I think that's fine as well. So we'll knock all these back down. Oh, this dust is going away, but... And we'll put the line actually in here. Which only really brings us in the intersections by a small amount because I'm realizing just how much oh, I'm falling down. Whoops. The diagonals are just jank in the first place. But let's go. We'll do it this way. Beep, 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 beep. We'll put it in there. Bring that one here. And I guess as we go, we'll also put our redstone. Do I have more? I don't think this is enough. We'll find out how far we get with this amount. We're gonna have to go get more. And then we'll put these back in. Okay, it's gonna go like that. Now that's gonna go in here. We should just go get more diorite so that when some falls in, we don't immediately need the one that fell in. See, I guess we are doing slightly supervised redstone because people who actually know things about redstone are in our audience, being Vex and Joe. To make one whole stack of these guys. So, we're back down there. Into the work site. Try not to backseat too much. That's fine. I'm not mad about seating in this case. If only because it will help me actually learn this stuff. Oh god, I forgot about that. My bad. Learning how to do proper redstone just seems like an important thing to do in Minecraft. And I do not have the brain power at the moment for figure this all out myself. So I am more than willing to ask questions and do. Because there's something to be said, I think, for the enjoyment of solving a puzzle yourself. But then, yeah, since this is not like a... Figuring out how to do this on its own, like, this was an interesting puzzle to be solving. Figuring out the intricacies of timing on redstone lines is not, like... an interesting challenge, for me at least. I know some people obviously do think it's an interesting challenge, but for me it's like, it's such a small level of minutia that I'm just like, that's the kind of thing that I would just rather look up. I know that precise redstone timing is going to be somebody's passion. It's not my passion, however. Just like storage tech is actually Vex's passion, but it's not my passion. As you can tell by my, like, goof-ass manual sorting storage system. If I cared about storage tech, I wouldn't be storing things the way that I am. And so, like, if I was ever building a storage, I would not be trying to figure out how to design a storage myself. I would probably be, like, looking at the options that the storage people have made and just been like, okay, now that I've looked at some options, let me go ask Vex, local storage professional, Hey Vex, what do you think of these storage options? Which ones are good? Because I know, for example, that it's been a big, not a big dream, but it is like Ox's intention if the one day that she will build a storage, but she would like to design her storage, not just build somebody's storage design. And that will be probably a very fun project for her to come up with her own solutions, build her own thing the way that she wants to. And I'm like, I would never undertake this particular journey. This is not for me. If I ever have an auto sorter, like a big storage in my base, I would just be building a design that I liked and had someone look at and say, oh, this thing is actually good. It says, designing a storage is a lot of fun, but also extremely difficult. Yeah, I've gotten that impression. And Joe says, yeah, learning to do little bits of timing for things like this really pays off later. It's funny how much starts to just make sense by feeling your way through it. And then it was one of the first big projects that I did when getting into TMC. I did not have a good time doing it, and the end product sucked, not gonna lie. Is that the one that's here on the server, or the one that you designed? Or did that ever even get built anywhere? Because I know that you have an old design here on the server that I believe is your design. No, I wonder if I have the schematic somewhere. Gotcha. Got built on a technical server that I ran for a short while. Gotcha. So the one that was on here, what iteration of Vex storage tech is that thing? Like, how far into the Vex designer life cycle did that thing come into existence at? That was the second full MS that I ever finished designing. Okay. Though there were some smaller storages that I designed between the first one and that one. Got it. Many of which did not get built. I see, I see. Am I misremembering? Wasn't there one, though, that did get built, like, in the desert by where you were trenching? Maybe not actually in the desert, but near that perimeter you were trenching over there, and didn't you blow one of them up? Like, there was an old, small storage thing over there that went into a trench. I believe it got trenched. There's a Vex old storage over the ocean. There's a tunnel to get, or a tunnel to it. Gotcha. Yeah, that one was a small temp storage that I made a long time ago, Eve. Yeah, I remember being there to watch it go. Blown up in the name of progress. Alright. Get these in here, and then we'll start to put our redstone back on this thing. Alright. Alright, technical people who know things. Is there So this thing is inevitably going to need some way to pulse these in sequence, which to my understanding is, again, a redstone clock of some kind. Is there a good redstone clock for doing the thing I'm trying to do here? Because I do not have interest in designing or developing clock technology. Timekeeping is not my passion either. Grab some more dust. Whee! I guess at most, I don't want them to be more than like... I want it to be almost like it runs one, maybe 5 seconds till the next one runs. I know that it pulses like... Currently in what I had on the old setup, it pulses twice really fast. But this is not meant to be like... I don't know if there's a way to stop it from pulsing twice the way that it currently did. This is another thing that I don't know as a not redstone person. If there's some way I should be doing this instead that is not going to set them off. Or if that's just the nature of redstone lights like this, that they are going to do that. I've not really messed with these lights before. I have a lot more experience with the weird T flip-flop of copper bulbs. To be perfectly honest. So I think a comparator clock is what you'd kind of want in this case. So you take a comparator, place 3 redstone dust around it in an L shape, right-click the comparator, power the back of it. Okay, so let's... Oh, our redstone stuff is down in the hole. Down here. Find a comparator. Sure, we have one. Go back to the surface, because we don't have the space for this. And Vex says, take a comparator, place 3 redstone dust around it in an L shape, which... Right-click the comparator, power the back of it. Oops. Okay, from the front side. Yeah, wait, let's try to see it. From the front side going into the side. Like that. Some torches, because this is actually a dark area. Okay. Then you power the back of it. Does it matter how we power the back of it? Make it clock fast. Actually, so I guess let's figure that out at the end. Let's figure that out once we have our repeaters onto the line here. Because we can actually just, then we can just build it and test the speed at which this will go. So let's revisit our repeater problem, which is when we want to pulse this, we do want the pulse to come in not over, because like we could stuff it off the side of one of these things. It would be this one if we do this. The other thing that I think we clear, but I'm not sure we clear... Yep, that's kind of why I expected. I wanted to put a redstone door kind of in this area, but I figure it's way too close, so we're going to have to put it, like, farther in. We're going to have to make this a hallway, or we're going to have to seal this up again. I do want to put a way to get into this area on purpose, other than simply having to currently fly back out if you fall down here. And I think having a hallway that leads out through there is not a bad idea. And I would have wanted to put a door here, but maybe we'll have to just do a different door design. Something that's not the 3x3 that I've used in previous places, because the 3x3 I think is going to go too far into the floor here. It is going to cause problems. I think it goes... How many blocks down into the floor does that go? It goes at least 3 blocks into the floor, so... Okay, so I'd start on the lamp farthest away from the clock. Bring levers 2 for testing. Okay. I believe we have the levers. So, farthest away from the clock. I do think we're going to put the clock somewhere on this side somewhere, which would mean that the farthest is going to be the opposite side. So, let's go over there. This will be the one that's farthest away from the clock. We'll put our clock in this area. So, we needed to have repeaters. I guess my first question is, does this pulse have to be... Currently, if we hit it, place the lever to power the redstone dust on top of the observer so you can see how far it travels. Okay. Boop. I know that there's like a mod for this to actually see the levels. I don't think I have it. Unless mini HUD rendering will have a thing for this. Actually, I don't know what mod is doing that, but we're making it to here, basically. Yeah, counting is cringe. We don't know how to do that. So... And repeater it so that the other one will reach. So... I think we repeater here, right? This is the place we can put it, because I actually don't think... Can you put repeaters in corners like this? I don't think that works, right? The dust won't link to that, so... It has to go here, where I believe the dust will link to it. Like so. And then we make it to here. You can if you need to, but you'll need to make it look funny. How exactly you repeater it doesn't matter. Okay, so I guess the other thing, we're assuming the pulse is going to travel only in one direction, correct? So, no, we'll flip the repeaters at the end. This is just for demonstration. Okay. Well, my brain tells me to put repeaters symmetrically in the same place. Yes, the pulse will travel in one direction. See, my brain tells me to do that then. Put that one there. Just to have them evenly spaced so I know that they're evenly spaced with each other. But that starts to add. And I don't know if we would need to put one here to make sure it's an even amount once it hits this observer. Yeah, okay, we'll flip them. Boop. Boop. The side lamps you're pointing at is the new starting point. The side lamps you're at is the new starting point. This one here that I was at. Turn off the lever, by the way. Okay. So, should I go ahead and go in and put repeaters at this location on all of them? Every one of that particular spot. That'll be one that goes here. That'll be one that goes there. That'll be one that goes here. One that goes here. We love consistency. There. Now we have all of our... You can, but I think it's going to make it more confusing. Well, we've already done that. They exist there now. So from your starting point, you'll have 2 repeaters worth of delay until the next side. Yeah. You'll want to delay the starting point lamp by 2 repeaters. Okay. So this is our this one with the scaffolding is conceptually our starting point lamp, unless it matters that you designated this one the starting point lamp. I don't know if that matters. Or since this is symmetrical, this ain't the starting point for our purpose. Okay, so it was this one over here. So if we need to delay this one by 2, can we just slap them in right here? Is this a fine enough point to put them in? Or do I need to, like... Because again, if you want me to put in 2 more repeater delay to get to this one, that's what my brain tells me to do, is just, like, stick the little fuckers right here. That way, if we ever have to do, like, one that has even more, we have more. This is our longest point. Okay, no, because that would delay everything in front of it. Okay, so if we need to delay our starting... So you need to delay the starting lamp by 2 repeaters. So does that just mean ticking these repeaters to 2? Because we do have 2 repeaters. You want to delay the observer to the lamp and only that. Okay, okay, I'm getting it. Everything else should go on as normal. So you want to delay to the lamp. Does that mean we can do the one... Can we put one on top? No, but it would have to be like... there and there? Oh. But I want it. Does that work like that? Okay, yeah, you should put one on top. Cool. Put the one on top. Put the one like that. Funnily enough, a repeater on 2 ticks of delay is equal to 2 repeaters. Oh, so we only needed the one on top. Set the one on top, 2 ticks. We don't need this one. We just need the one on top like that. If I'm understanding, if I'm following the thing you've written, this is what we need here. Just the one repeater on top, 2 ticks of delay. Move your other repeater as well as the redstone dust in front of the repeater. That one. So one repeater leading into nothing. Cool. Right, we now have one repeater leading into nothing. Now just place a dust on top of the observer. Well, that's the only observer I see here. Beep beep beep. And then do we just have to do this at all of them now? Yeah, so now the pulse is coming this way. And then it's hitting, so it's coming through here and it's traveling to the next one that way. It's arriving at this one, but because we need them all to be synced up, we need to delay this one from firing until the pulse reaches the next one as well. And this added repeater here gives us the ability to delay each one by however much we need to get them all synchronized. That's how I interpret what we've done here. Is we've created one loop where the power is running, but we're using this repeater system here to be able to sync them all. We're giving ourselves literally a lever by which to adjust them. So again, this would imply to me that we now need to do this to every single one of them. So you can do the same thing for the first one, closest to the clock, but you need to account for the delay for everything in front of it. So it'd be 4 game ticks with your current setup, though your current setup won't actually work. Okay. I am curious. Sorry, 4 redstone ticks, 8 game ticks. So it would be this setup then, but this won't work. But theoretically, it would be this setup. Does that mean then that every single one of the other ones would be, so if the first one was 2, the next one would be 4, the next one would be 6, the last one here is 8? And the reason it won't work is because the redstone doesn't travel far enough on the outer edge. Gotcha. So this outer will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's still within... Oh, but it doesn't travel... Okay, I see. It doesn't travel correctly here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're dying like too short. Okay, so you need a repeater on the other observer, not a dust, and you'll need to add 1 repeater worth of delay to everything. Beep, beep, beep. So that would mean we need that guy. Let's run around the circle. Let's just put these in. Beep, doop. That'll also give us a moment to stop. And do these like so. So, okay, so now we have that baseline level of repeaters in. So, do you truly want it to go in a circle? It will be easier if you have it split and go two ways at the start. No, that would also be fine. If they're all four going to light up in the same way, we really don't need it to be in a circle. So, like, say we're sending the clock signal in here, for example, we can just do these ones all facing that way, do those ones all facing that way, and that's fine. We don't need it to be a circle. Yeah, and so we would go here, we flip this one, we flip this one, we flip these two, and we change that. Like so. We flip this one. And then here, actually, I guess we didn't need this. At some point, we decide which one is powering. You can break the redstone dust on the left side here, going to the end. So we would still change this one like so. But actually, we don't even need that anymore. It's fine to just end like, if I'm understanding correctly, and then we can just remove everything. Okay, well that was a timing issue, but it doesn't matter. But then all this stuff. Pick a direction to have it power. Delete the other line. Pick a direction to have it power and delete the other line. You have it right. Yeah, so we just get rid of all this stuff because this is not doing anything anymore in this system. We actually don't need any of that there. The only places we need it are, it needs to, so say again, say the line is going to come in somewhere around here. We need it to go that way, and we need it to go that way. Does that mean we'd have to send the line in evenly spaced between these two repeaters? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have an even number. That's tragic for us. We have an even number between these two repeaters. No, anywhere on dust line would be fine. Okay. So let's just say we're gonna slap it here. This is where our time is gonna go in. Because the dust is instant, the only delay we need to account for is the repeaters. Gotcha. Oh, we're gonna pick this spot then. This is gonna be where our clock is gonna enter the system. It's gonna send one that way. It's gonna send one this way. So we have to account for the delay now with these repeaters. Anyway, because we added the extra repeaters, your delays are all wrong. You're gonna need to go and account for that. Do, 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 do. We'll just put them all back, and we'll pick up our missing piece here. We never did any of the delays on these things. These are still just at the front. So, when the line is going this way, we have two repeaters. So does that make this one too then we have, what do we have? 3 repeaters that hit this one before we get here. So do we have to then account for the 3 of them that are between that zone? Because this has 2 before it. This one would, by my understanding, be this to the 6. But I, again, could be wrong here. I'm barely trying to parse together what information I'm gaining. You have the right idea, you're working in the wrong direction. Okay, got it. We'll put them back down. And put that one back down. So if we have to work in the other direction, we have to count for, and this repeater doesn't count, right, in this math? I got it. So this one, by the same thing that I just did, this one is 2. And the other one is... Okay, you should actually remove it so it doesn't count. Got it. Oh yeah, because we only... So now we have 1, 2, 3 repeaters that are getting hit here. So this one... So this is... So it should be there. At that one would be 6. Then going this way, it hits... So, okay, so we can go to our end, and we can just knock this guy out anyway. We don't need that anymore. So now we have 1, 2, 3 repeaters, same thing. Then we hit exactly the same number of repeaters going the other way. Oh, that one needs its repeater? Okay. Okay. Cool. That guy now has his repeater, but that means that we hit an extra repeater in here in this line. So this one actually needs to be the 8. We now have 4 repeaters here. And if this one needs to be the same as the other one, it has to be at the 6. So we have one that's on... You actually needs to be 10, so you'll have to add 1 extra repeater. Okay. Which one needs to be 10? The starter one? This one over here needs to be 10. So we need to shove another repeater that doesn't interact with this repeater? Huh. Guess we have to change the location of our scaffolding for sure here. Send her ass back up to the top. Because the only way I can imagine that does this is to make this line longer. Because now we need to have them... God, how do we even do this? Because we need the repeater not to point into the other repeater, right? Because we need to, so we need to add another... I would put a repeater right behind the current one. Whoops. That's the one problem of using the materials we are. That shit mine's instant. You would put one here. And then... Oh, even better. Okay, new idea. Place the news repeater. Replace that news repeater with the dust and move the other repeater left one. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Replace the newest repeater with a dust, move the other one. You could bring her back our dust. Move this one there. And then we can just slap one in here. I believe now with this new adjustment. Like so. Wait. That way. Okay. Nailed it. We're doing it. Not that that matters, but might as well. Okay, so now we'll hollow out a little area here where we're going to slap our clock in. Because our clock was back up here. The comparator, yeah, we'll do the one above first. Okay, so supposing this is our line, am I understanding where the signal is going to come out of this thing? If we pretend that that's the line that then is going to go into our loop? Or where does it come out of the clock? Okay, and you can pull the signal from any of those dusts. Gotcha. So we'll want to power the back. You said we could do it with a lever, but then we're going to add repeaters somehow to get a delay correctly. It's like currently, if I put the one there, like so. Now it is doing the thing, but it's doing it incredibly fast. So I see the system. And this is where we end up with, like, obviously this is not connected. And but I feel like I've seen where you do just like repeaters leading back to the thing and a delay somehow. Or we would just like join repeaters to the back of this. So if you move the front 2 redstone dust forward and put repeaters where the dust was, you can add the delay. Okay. And we could just missed completely. Actually, let's put that one back to the normal. Let's just play with the front one first. And you can do that infinitely. Okay, so we would just keep adding. Then we put another one here, another one there. Connect our dust here. If we want it to be incredibly slow coming out. Yeah, our lamps will trigger every time the dust switches states, not just when it turns on. This is why we get on this thing here, why we get the 2. The 2 pulses going down. So I guess here's my question then, Vex. Is one of these rows controlling how long the pulse stays on? Specifically, so this first one, the power, when it comes out here, the longer the delay is on these 2, the pulse will spend 50% of its time on and 50% off. Okay. So when it's on, it'll fire once. When it turns off, it'll fire again. But as long as they're turning on and off, so if it's 50% of the time, then we won't get the double pulse the way that we were. We will just get synchronized 1 pulse, 1 pulse, pulses, pulses, pulses. So we just have to play with adding an appropriate number of repeaters here to then space our pulses to the timing that we want this to look. That's why it's ideal for your lamps. Okay, so let's go down there. And we'll go build one with this setup currently, and we'll see, is that enough of them? I'm almost tempted to give it a 3rd one in our initial build, to put it like that, to give us just 1. I think that... No, I guess we can visualize from here what this will look like. This is going to be long. So just imagining the look of this. Yeah, and that's what I was also thinking. If we put 1 extra set here and we ultimately don't want it, we can still play with our timing a little bit. Or even replace some of them. Like, so yeah, say we decide it's too long, we can then just knock these ones out. Actually, nope, that didn't work. I forgot that they would connect to each other. Is there a way to make them not do that? Or do we then just have to stagger which one is which one? So we would do that, that, and make this one like that. Oh, well, I've actually just created a system that's on all the time. Quite impressive. Not the one at the end. Got it. So not adjacent ones, not the one at the end. So we need that one. Whoops. Just put it back to the way it was. With a truly wacky timing, but... But basically, the farther back we make it, the more of these we can remove at the front. We just need to change our length that way. So we'll go back down and we'll look. You don't need to balance the two sides or anything, by the way. It just works in an actual way, not a Todd Howard way. Excellent. We love that for us. So we're going to have to immediately just move this. Not that this mattered where it was. It truly is just currently a random ass hole in the floor. Whoops. Like, that's in no way going to be the entrance to what's down here. It really was just where the scaffolding happened to be at the time. So, looking at our top one, with this setup, we would currently have, so all of ours would be in this row here. So A, let's knock that. Random asshole on the floor is my IRL D&D class. Excellent. We love that for you. We'll just clear space right here. I hate gravel. Gravel, one of the worst materials in Minecraft, gotta say. So this is going to be our new path. So whoops. We do want to do third one, so that requires us to go one farther in. Joseph Brooks says, God, I fucking hate stripping logs. Yeah. I believe it. I believe it a lot. What are you stripping logs for? What project is coming soon with stripped logs? Well, it's working as intended. Well, thank you for all of your help, Vex. And yeah, thanks, Joe, for it does look quite cool. I am very happy with how it's come out. I now understand the remaining principles I need, and I will just have to figure out, like, what precisely I want the pulse speed to look like. That might not be bad where it's at currently. Oh god, we gotta get out of the hole now. But yeah, now I just have to decide, like, what speed I want these pulses to work at. If that's right, or if I want it to be even longer delay. If this one's kind of a lazy... I can imagine versions where this is more, like, fast. But I actually think that this one might need to be even longer than this. Just because this is not meant to be, like, a warning. Like, I can see how this would work for more, like, industrial areas or more warning areas or more, like, exciting. But this thing is just kind of like almost like a lazy... I want it to every so often draw your attention to almost like the lights are traveling down into some infinite void you can't see. And so I think this one is actually going to end up being quite slow. But now that I know how that works, and I have been equipped with the tools to understand how to fix this and further improve it to what I would like it to do, thank you very much, Vex. I really appreciate it. We've redstoned on stream, and we have managed to not drive Ox absolutely insane. So, you know, good for us. Congratulations. We're gonna dig the new hole right here. We need to go down what? Oh, we'll just hit the spot. Cool. The new hole is in. Whoops. That's gotta be way too many. Surely that was way too many. And then we'll plug up the old hole. Now the hole is at least in the center. That makes it better. And then we actually need to dig a new axis at the bottom area. We'll put it here for now. Oh, I hit right on a corner. Whoops. Okay. So that should actually be here to make this easiest. And we just reclaim this stuff. Very cool. Coming for I hate falling blocks as lunch money. But yeah, this is something that I will probably use in other places. Like I said, the original idea was I contemplated using it over here for the one that's in the ceiling, but I decided I didn't actually want to use it here because I didn't really want it. I didn't think you'd be able to notice it at any point when you're down here because there's going to be a thing in the way. Like, you could see it here if I wanted to put one. It would be barely visible. The place where this is going to absolutely come back is here in this thing. Here we're going to do another one, and it's going to be both either way bigger or way more elaborate. I might try to do a design in this one with more lights instead of doing a simple it's going straight down the walls. Here I might try to do something much more interesting with this idea of the descending lights. So I have ideas. I have places that I want to do stuff like this with. And this was just the first and easiest spot of it. But also I think one of the coolest. I find it quite striking. I really have always liked the way that this looked. I do wonder, actually, if what I should do is if I should make the observers go directly into the blocks. Because I wonder if having the pulse be twice as long would actually look better in this one specific situation. Or if this looks fine. Something I'll have to play around with as I mess with this area. Because it's meant to only be the 3 blocks lit at once, but if it does the 6, it might actually look better in this area. Which is kind of funny. I'll have to find out. The 6 of them being lit at once, I think might actually look better. Interesting to think about. But this is a problem for the future. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to go to the desktop and we're going to play our one game of the League of Legends. Because it is League of Legends o'clock. Update our stream. Game is actually launching, so that's good for us. Congratulations, game. You actually worked. If you are still around, Vex, and had any interest in joining for the one League of Legends game, you are more than welcome and invited for all your effort helping us out on this stream. No worries if you're busy or anything. Ooh, Vex is in. Let's go. I don't know if you desire to join the voice chat. I actually don't know if you join the voice chat if you'll show up on stream. Will it pick that audio up? Okay. Now I guess we need almost like a third party to verify. Like, I hear you, obviously. Are you still listening to the stream, Vex? Can you hear yourself? Because I'm now curious if that's how that works. Or if the audio client is a different, like, audio source that they've intentionally... Interesting. Input device. Well, so the thing is, Joe, currently we're not in Discord. He's actually in the in-game client, and that's why we were wondering if it was going to pick up the in-game audio, or if it considers that a different... It might have its... Yeah, we could just move to Discord. I just thought that was interesting to find out whether that worked or not. Yeah, that's what I don't. I'm very excited for Client 2.0 because please fix this thing, make it make sense. But anyway, yeah, if we just want to go to Discord, that's probably going to be our like sanest option at the moment. Very exciting. I'm going to disconnect from the league voice. Hello. Okay, let me make sure. I think I gotta add a Discord capture. I have one for Minecraft, but I actually don't have one for League on here. Because I have not had people here to play the League of Legends with me. So I've added it. Let's see if that works. People hear you now. Nope. Do not see the Discord audio did not fire. Why did it not fire? What are your properties, Discord audio? Discord.exe. It really is. Do I have to... So I put Discord in as an application capture. Let's see, if I go back to Minecraft section, we have a Discord audio here. And this one, I believe, worked. Maybe it doesn't. Can you say something again? No, it's not picking this one up either. These things break at some point while I wasn't paying attention? Or did we? I don't even know if we ever got this thing working. How is Ox and I talking? That must... Oh, was that through the stream together? Discord sends its audio to a specific audio out, so the application capture will not work on that, I assume. So we're gonna have to make a new one. We're doing it live on stream, friends. Oh, Joseph Rooks might know things, but I don't know what source we're gonna be looking for. So it might not be possible. It might not possibly. You might be able to just add the source that already exists in the Minecraft scene via add source. Yeah, that is what I did, Joe, and it didn't work. And then I went back to the Minecraft scene, and the one in the Minecraft scene doesn't work either. So that source just does not work at all currently. So we need to just make a new source because the one I tried to set up before doesn't seem to even function. It's not functioning in the Minecraft. It's because like when I switch to Minecraft, it's not like you can hear Vex now either. So I think we have to like figure out how to create a new capture that's capturing the Discord one. Because I don't know where it goes. If you know where it goes, Joe, would love to hear that. If not, I'm gonna just like simply Google how to capture Discord audio in OBS. Because surely the Google knows once I get past the terrible, what's it called? AI garbage answers at the top. Which we do not desire. Okay, and Joe says, my audio setup is too complicated for me to say anything useful. Understandable. Have a nice day. Let us see. Sources, application, audio capture, okay. Select desired application. Okay, people seem to think this is a Windows problem. Which, it doesn't surprise me. Windows sure does love to mess things up. Do-do. Windows default input. Default communication output. Finally muting my mic. Huh. You say something again, Vex? Oop. No luck. Because Windows is a bad time, in my opinion. We hate Windows. We hate it a lot. Audio. Turn that back on. Okay, so that's my mic. I found that setting. We hate Windows. Might have to just try to figure this out later, Vex, and the stream will simply have to imagine your exciting conversation. Yeah. Yeah, might as well, because obviously the Discord one is not working at the moment. We'll just have to do some stream testing another time. See if we can figure out how to get Discord to want to pick up. And I'll like go watch some like video tutorials and stuff. So yeah, let's switch back to the game one. We're back. Welcome back to the League of Legends. Nice. Yeah, I surely don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. Oh. Does it? Well, maybe I can just application capture the Riot client. Alright, let's try it. Let's do Riot client audio. Okay. No. Huh. I don't even see that. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's go to my volume mixer. I'm invested now. Yeah. And if I turn down the Riot client, I no longer hear you. Yeah. Okay, so it does seem to be like... When I search for Discord, like when I'm on OBS and I'm trying to find application captures, I see Xbox Game Bar widgets. I do see League Client. Then I see Discord. Then I see just the Firebot Firefox. And search. I do not see one for the thing we want. I think I've accidentally created a second League client one. We love the incredibly amazing all chats. X is going to... Oh, hello, Nim. How are you doing? It's pretty late. I do have water here, so... we're lost in the sauce trying to get audio to come through for League of Legends.
I'm undisputed.
Oh no, it's just... I got it. Never mind. Muted myself. Wow, these champions suck. These champions, like, all suck. What are we looking at? So I'm gonna play Vi. This is bad. I got a bad feeling about this game. Are you ready to suffer? That guy switched to another melee. Oh. Surely we'll be okay in this comp without a single marksman. Alright. I wonder if that fixed things and if you can now be heard through League game audio. Or if it kept... Can anybody hear Vex? Out of curiosity now. If you, Nim or Joe, if you're still here. Has Vex appeared?
Welcome to Bilgewater.
Okay. Well,
Who needs a beat?
what a game chat we're having here.
Let's get to the fun.
Agar is indeed not cool in general. I've been feared.
Here I come to save the day.
I don't understand how we possibly play this game out, honestly. This is gonna be bad. Okay, we got one, chat. Oh god. The problem in this game is going to be that we are a big collection of melee champions, and it's just going to be really hard for us to do very much. Probably. I don't think our damage is going to be our big problem. I think our trying to survive long enough to matter is going to be a big problem.
They'll never know what hit them.
Pick up cat. Fortunately, we don't have any cats here. The only cat in this game is Yumi. No, I guess Nidalee. Rengar. We have actually surprisingly more cats than I thought. Yeah. The only cat that I would say that you could pick up, though, is Yumi, right? We just need to try to clear these waves. Take that. Yeah, I guess if you're set, you can pick up every cat. Or Skarner, you can pick up all the cats. Tomkench counts if you want to eat the cats. Miserable. Oh shit. This sucks. Alright, well we're gonna hit level 6 soon. Then maybe we really can do something. I think. We're just all gonna die again, but like, maybe we'll die taking more of them with us. This is like our last wave before maybe we're real champions. Because we are not right now. Oh, nice. Bam. Bam. Ew. I'll get that guy before he can ult. Oh god, I've been bubbled. Getting my thing charged. Feels goofy. At least I stopped the fiddle from ulting. I can't believe you went for that. I need to die. Get my first item at least. I don't think we have new sub badge. Well, I don't know if someone can type to Ox that we don't have new sub badges. We shouldn't. I think I'm going in. No, I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna have sub badges at some point in NIM, but we shouldn't currently have anything more than like whatever I think basic one I started us with. So I'm not really sure what Ox is talking about. Oh, I whiffed so badly right there. Oh, the big old T. Let's dive this guy. Back here. He ulted me. Alright, we got him. We're doing something. Alright, so what do they got? They've got 80, 82. This sucks. They have split damage too. I don't even know. I don't even know what matters here more. I think not getting crowd control is more important against Fiddle. I like pretending that I'm a ranged champion with my punching. Yeah. Guess we just have to go all in right here, right? Alright, we're doing something. Take that, big harassing. Like as soon as he... Oh, let's go. Oh god, I'm dying. No problem. I'll have tenacity next time at least. So that's something. We go Death Stance. Whoops. Yay. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, well... On the way, friends. I'm less on the way, but... I'm looking for Nami? No. And... Okay. This looks good for us, though. Oh god, I'm in the cage? I'm in the baby cage? Oh god. Not that. Okay. This is a mess, though, for us. Oh, the tidal wave right there? Come on, Susan, don't be a coward. Remember, Vex, we have to punch first and then ask questions while punching. Yeah. Right, I got my ult again. You need the rumble ult, I think. Yeah. Bit looking for me. Threatening. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's try. Okay, well. At least I kept the other ones all on me. And you all mostly survived the Fiddlesticks ultimate. That's good.
Sometimes you gotta make a door.
Alright, I'm looking because he's thrown the cage. I'm bubbled, but that's okay. Oh, I got him weird. Yeah, that was. That's okay. I needed a reset. I can't be a fan since it's being used on your minions, but that is a cool attack. I'm really wondering which one this is talking about. Oh no, not the baby cage! Oh, he lived! I don't know what good he does us, but he lived.
Suspicious number of those in the South Bay.
Now, let's come back out on the field. No, but she's saying it's being used on our minions. Maybe.
Who needs a beat?
Okay. We're looking, but trying not to get fiddle ulted. Hello? Fiddlesticks? He's gonna want to stop us on the tower, isn't he? Oh no, he's just back there. Okay. What is Susan doing anyway? Oh, been caught. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Ain't no quitter. I don't think that Rumble should have switched to Rumble from LeBlanc, but
Inhibitor lost.
I don't think he's really the problem here. Oh, whoops, I charged directly into that, but at least I have tenacity. One of the things that happens in these kind of comps, okay, like surely they can't come out to defend this tower. This is a goner. But one of the things that happens in these kind of comps is that you really need to be like deranged with your aggression in a way that a lot of people are not comfortable with being. But like you really have to be like unbelievably reckless with your aggression in a way that people don't love.
Here I come to save the day. Or wreck it.
Alright, well we're gonna have to. Fuck 'em, here we go. It was close.
Enemy triple kill.
The double 80 carries is really... Double 80 carries into... What is it, 4 melees? No, 5 melee? Are you a melee? No, you're ranged. But, like, technically ranged. It's not like it matters. Yeah. You're also just not even, like, in general harassing. I'm coming out. Let's go. I came out once before. I can do it again. We got her. Go, Nasus. I'm catching up. Cleared the supers out of the base. On the way, friends. I'm almost there. I made it. I can stop him from doing the channeling. Hey, let's go. We did it. Yeah, they do have a Sivir. Okay, but at least we can get our supers. Yeah, it landed by the Nexus. I saw the landing. Well, we get like one final glorious fight. Really all we got. Yeah, that's true.
Piltover's finest.
Malphite's gonna get his. I don't know about that one, Rumble. That Rumble ulti. GG's. We tried. He immediately blows. Oh, it was so tragic. It's so funny that you literally tried to tell him, let's all save our ults and use them together, and he was like, nah, dog, I don't like that. Wouldn't be me. Yeah. I'm gonna honor Malphite and you. Thought he did thing at least. I believed in him. Our Rumble had damage, but her Rumble made choices. Yeah, who knows? Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the game, Vex. We'll have to figure out this audio thing later. And for next time. I don't know how it works. League is just such a jank client system. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for playing, and thanks for all the help with everything. I appreciate it. Alrighty, catch you later. Oog. Alright, friends, we're gonna go back to our Minecraft setup. We are going to call it for today. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really happy with the work we got done today. I've wanted to do the thing that we did with the lights. I wanted to do that for a long time. It's been a project that I've always envisioned. And now it actually works. Now it works the way it's supposed to, and I'm really happy about that. So, big thanks to Vex, big thanks to everyone for being here. And I will catch you... Okay, so actually, for anyone who's here and actually made it to the end of the stream, I gotta say, I actually won't be streaming for the rest of this week. This will shock you. Wednesday is Christmas. Friday, I just have some stuff I gotta do. So I won't be back until Sunday next week. We're going to take a break from streams for the holidays. I hope you all have a great holiday, however you choose to spend that, whether that's with family, whether that's with friends, whether that's just on your own. I hope you have a happy time. I hope that everything is great. If you get presents from people, I hope you get the things you wanted. If you got presents for people, I hope that they're what they wanted. It's just a great time overall. So, hope everyone has a great rest of the week. We will be back on Sunday. And yeah, thank you all for being here. Have a great night.